Can the US government just take away your citizenship? The basic answer is absolutely not. Once you're a citizen of the United States, even if you're a naturalized citizen, you have a fundamental constitutional right to preserve your citizenship status. The only exception to that fundamental right is if your citizenship was procured illegally. But that is extraordinarily rare, and it is extremely difficult to prove in a case that would have to go before a federal judge. Nevertheless, the Trump administration is threatening to try to denaturalize citizens. In an internal memo to the Department of Justice that's just become public, the Trump administration has said that it's going to make a priority of taking away citizenship from naturalized citizens who have been involved in a range of bad actions, like terrorism or posing other national security threats. This is not the first time that the Trump administration has said that it wants to take away people's citizenships. In the last Trump administration, going all the way back to 2017, they went so far as to announce a new office in the Department of Justice that was supposed to have the full-time job of stripping people's citizenship. But here's the truth. With all of that attention and effort in the first Trump administration, only 102 cases were even brought, according to the Trump administration's own numbers. And they haven't said how many of those cases actually succeeded. And if they succeeded a lot of the time, there's every reason to think they'd be bragging about it. So the reality is that a very tiny number of people actually got their citizenship taken away. And that number reflects the very great degree of legal difficulty of taking away citizenship from people who have become citizens of the United States. So if it's so hard to strip citizenship, and if even when they tried in the last administration, the Trump administration didn't have very much success, why are they prioritizing this now? One of the familiar elements by now in Trump's playbook is to try to scare the living daylights out of us, especially out of people who are perceived as vulnerable, in order to win in the public eye. That's why it is so important to recognize that this threat is, for the most part, overwhelmingly likely to be empty. On the one hand, it is my job to tell you that the Trump administration is prioritizing taking citizenship away from people. At the same time, it's also my job to tell you not to panic, because it's extraordinarily difficult to do that. It violates people's constitutional rights, and they're not going to have very much success in doing so. And therefore, that people should not be afraid to exercise their free speech rights. But that's the balance that we need to strike under these current, very difficult circumstances.